Good afternoon. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Welcome to our Westchester Coronavirus Update for Monday, April 26th. This is the first of two updates we're going to provide this week. As we do most weeks now, we have a Monday update and a Thursday update that gives you an idea of where we are at two times during the course of the week interval. I have with me Deputy County Executive Ken Jenkins, who will be reporting on one of the elements here that we'd like to cover. And our guest for this update is the Mayor of the City of Peekskill, the Honorable Andre Rainey, and we're going to have him with us in a few seconds to talk a little bit about what's happening in Peekskill. We try to have a municipal official with us, supervisor or city mayor or village mayor at each of these updates, so you get an idea of what's happening in other parts of the county, and we'll give an update on one or two non-COVID related issues while we have the time together. If you have any questions, any members of the press, we're operating remotely for the sake of the safety of members of the press, so they don't have to be here, but we'll certainly take any questions. You're welcome to reach out to us through our communications at westchestergov.com, or you can speak to Joe Scamato as our Deputy Director of Communications, who's on duty for this event, and we're happy to take any of those questions as anybody in the press sees fit. The statistics, which we start with all the time, are very good. We're getting better, and we're getting better by leaps and bounds here in Westchester County. I know that may not be the case in other parts of the country, and certainly we have great concern for our brothers and sisters in India that are going through a tremendous upheaval with the increase of COVID there. So we don't take comfort that our little corner of the world is doing better when other parts of the world have tragedy and loss of life. But the news in our backyard is good. We have information that was updated as of yesterday, Sunday, April 25th, on the New York State Tracker. The tracker was not yet updated as of the time that we go on the air at 2 o'clock. If you check the tracker later in the day, you'll see some different numbers as befits the Monday update. But as of yesterday, we have 3,208 active cases of coronavirus, and that number is dropping dramatically. It's dropped almost 1,000 cases from a week ago today. When we last reported to you on Thursday, we had 3,700 cases. So now we're down to 3,200 cases. That's a net loss of 500 active cases. And that number now has been going steadily down. We had 7 weeks of decrease. We had about 2.5 weeks where things were kind of static. And now they've been decreasing over the last 2 weeks. And we're very encouraged by that. That's on the basis of 127,046 people that have tested positive for COVID throughout the course of the pandemic. 123,838 of them have gone through the 2-week interval, and therefore 3,208 is the number for today. And that's on a basis of 2.6 million tests given out in Westchester County. That's an amazing number if you think about it. 2.6 million COVID tests here in Westchester County. Now, obviously, in a county with somewhat less than 1 million people, that means people have had multiple number of COVID tests. I've been tested 3 times for COVID. Everybody has their own individual story. But we're very encouraged by the number of what's dropping in the total cases. We're also encouraged by the drop in the number of hospitalizations. If you go back to January's peak, 588 people hospitalized. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were in the range of 200. The most recent number we have is as of Saturday, 131 people hospitalized for COVID. That's a drop of 20 cases just from where we were a week ago today on the 26th of April. So that's encouraging as that number continues to go down over the course of time. We hope that number will drop under 100 in the next week or so, as we hope that the number of active cases will drop under 3,000. And our fatality number has been very encouraging as well. We had, over the course of the last week, 4 separate nights where no one suffered fatality because of COVID. And therefore, over the course of a week ago, from these numbers, 4 people have passed away. Now, those 4 people, that's a tragedy. We don't underestimate the loss of any human life, but we've had weeks where we were routinely losing 25 people, 45 people, and more than that in a week. And to have only 4 fatalities in the last week is very encouraging. We hope that's a sign that the vaccinations that we're doing is beginning to make an impact. We're told that the more the population that's vaccinated, the less likely they will be hospitalized, the less likely they will suffer fatality, even if they do get the disease, and it's less likely they'll get the disease. So in an encouraging way, we don't want to make any final statements or predictions. It's still too soon, but it appears that the vaccination numbers are impacting the infection numbers. As the infection numbers go down, hospitalizations go down, and fatalities go down. That's the gist of our updated report on the infection side of it. On the vaccination side of it, through yesterday, in our 4 major locations, which would be the County Center, the Yonkers Armory, and the 2 Westchester clinics, one in downtown White Plains and one at the community college and the gymnasium. We've issued 317,000 vaccinations from the beginning of the vaccination period, which began in January at the county center. The county center continues to be the bulk of them, 216,700 vaccines administered at the county center. And the other areas are also significant. The Yonkers Armory, which really opened up slightly over a month ago, 53,976 vaccinations administered. Ken will cover some of the changes that are happening with the different locations. But what we do want to point out is that the governor announced last week that at the Yonkers Armory, if you are 60 years of age and older, you can now show up without an appointment and get vaccinated. We have a point now where we're seeing the supply of vaccines starting to much more closely equal the demand. In the beginning of this process, the demand was very high and the supply was very low, and that's why people had trouble getting appointments and going back on the internet more than once a day to try to find out what's a possibility. Or they said, well, I'm going to be vaccinated in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Well, all that time has now passed us. We're at the end of April. And as predicted, we're starting to have sufficient vaccine for those that need it. We will, over the course of the next month, reach the point at which the demand has been satisfied, and there will be a large portion of our population that is not vaccinated and does not appear to have the demand to be vaccinated. We will have to deal with that as a society. But for the moment, we're still in a position where if you want a vaccine, you can get it, and we can deliver it on a reasonable basis. And given where we are today, 352,743 people have completed their vaccine series. That puts us well over 35% vaccinated within the county. And that if you count the number of people that have at least one dose, they're waiting for the second dose, 490,000, approaching 500,000 people in the county of 1 million people, a little less than 1 million, who will have had at least one vaccine dose. And we think in very short order, we're going to be over the 50% mark, and then we'll be climbing over the next month or so. And we do expect to reach the 60% mark and slightly above the 60% mark, and then we'll hit that point that I've just described where the demand will have fallen off, and individuals who at this point are showing vaccine hesitancy will now be sort of the target as to whether or not they can get vaccinated and help us with what we've got to deal with. I have a few other points to make in terms of COVID and the vaccines. I will just make one other point, and then we'll bring on the mayor. We have been told, you've seen it publicized nationally, the Johnson & Johnson one-shot vaccine is now resuming this week. We have plenty of vaccine that was accumulated and stored effectively, so we can provide the Johnson & Johnson vaccination. There'll be links posted on Facebook to the county health department that will help you do that. You can call the county health department, 995-7425, to make an appointment, or you can click on health at westchestergov.com in order to make that connection. What's important about the Johnson & Johnson situation is that with a one-shot distribution, we are much more able to help our homebound people, mostly seniors who cannot get out of the house. We're also able to help vaccinate our homeless population as well, where we know that we with one shot can give them satisfactory protection. So the Johnson & Johnson mark is back up. There are some notes that go with that vaccination type. If you're a woman between the ages of 18 and 56, I think it is, that there's a special cautionary note. But it has been deemed to be able to be administered, and so we will administer them in order to get vaccinations as thoroughly as we can across Westchester County. We believe that's the path out of this pandemic, is through vaccination. Mayor Andre Rainey has been a good friend for his tenure as mayor. He was a councilman prior to becoming mayor. We've had a great working relationship with him, his city, and his council. We know that these have been difficult times for everybody in local government. Peekskill, if you haven't made it to that side of the county, is a very dynamic community. It's got a lot of good things going on, and even things that COVID couldn't slow down. There's affordable housing being built in the community. There's an arts and culture element of Peekskill. The architecture is beautiful, and it's got the benefit of a river that's right outside its front door, great Lincoln Museum. So there's a lot to recommend itself for Peekskill. Mayor Rainey will be stepping down at the end of this year, which is a loss for us as a friend, but we know he's got other accomplishments yet ahead of him. But we're very happy to have him here today to tell us a little bit more about where we are in Peekskill. The Honorable Mayor of the City of Peekskill, Andre Rainey. Mr. Mayor, good to have you with us, sir.
Absolutely. Good to see you. All right. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andre Rainey. I'm the proud mayor of the great city of Peekskill, New York, and I want to start off by saying thank you to our county executive, George Latimer, and our deputy county executive, Ken Jenkins, for their leadership and their support through this entire process. As county executive said, one of the things that we've noticed most is the numbers decreasing. In the city of Peekskill, we're proud to say that the numbers of active cases has decreased, and the numbers of people actually going out to get tested has increased. So we thank the entire city of Peekskill for their hard work and effort to continue following protocol and safety measures. And from the beginning of this process, the county's been supportive and helping us in many ways, from supplying us with different varieties of masks and sanitizer and everything else that we need to get through this. And it's been a challenge, but we've been making it through. The city of Peekskill thus far has given out over 1 million pounds of food. I want to thank the school district, the city of Peekskill. I want to thank Feeding Westchester, Westcop, the Peekskill City Youth Bureau, the Peekskill City Rotary Club, and others in the city of Peekskill who have come together to address the food insecurities that we face during these challenging times, especially those in our school district and our young adults. The youth programming in the city of Peekskill has continued. The Youth Bureau has been doing virtual programming ever since the pandemic, ever since the beginning of the shutdown. The school district has gone into hybrid mode where they have allowed some students to stay home, and they've provided Chromebooks for all of the students who haven't been able to come to school. And for the students who are in school, they're in school 4 days a week, mine is, I believe, Wednesdays, so they can get a break. The teachers can have a break to clean and reorganize the school for whatever schools the students are going to. We've put over 200 additional signs in the city of Peekskill reminding people of the importance to wear a mask and social distance. Even though the city of Peekskill is great, as County Executive George Latimer said, which I seriously agree with him, it is still important that we follow safety measures as we enjoy this greatness, as we enjoy the green spaces, as we enjoy the parks and the recreational areas for our students and our young adults, and even our adults who just want to go outside and have a little fun. So I encourage people to continue to wear your mask, continue to carry your sanitizer, and continue to follow the safety measures so we can open up things quicker. Good news for the city of Peekskill is this summer we will be opening our pool up for the summer for Peekskill residents only currently. Later on, things may change if things get better. It was completely up to you, to the people of the city, to the people of the city of Peekskill who visit, who work there, who live there, who own businesses there. It's up to you. You can help us expedite this process. But for now, the city of Peekskill pool will be reopening for Peekskill residents only. Of course, it'll be by appointment slots and time slots. The Juneteenth parade. As County Executive mentioned, other parades have been canceled. The Juneteenth parade, of course, will have to be canceled. However, there will be a virtual celebration. I appreciate the virtual celebrations a little bit more almost than the actual parades because it's a lot more educational. So for those of you who may not know exactly what the celebration of Juneteenth is for, especially as an African-American mayor, I think it's very important that we push the information and the message so people are educated on why we're celebrating this actual holiday. So I'm looking forward to that celebration. The Peekskill City Youth Bureau, the Peekskill NAACP, they continuously work hard to ensure that the people are educated and informed on what's going on in the city of Peekskill, especially as we recognize, support, and encourage and be excited over our diversity. So for those of you wondering what's going on in City Hall, yes, City Hall is still open. As many of you may or may not know, our city manager suffered a fatal accident recently, but he's alive and well and recovering shortly. So Andy, we love you, we appreciate you, we're looking forward to you coming back to City Hall and working with us. In the meantime, City Hall is still open by appointment. So if there's something that you need done, if there's any businesses you need to get permits for, if there's a development that you're working on, you need inspection, City Hall is still open by appointment only. So please look on the cityofpeekskill.com website. You can get any phone numbers, any email addresses, and if you can't get in contact with anybody, you can always email me. I love being accessible to the community. So please reach out if you have any questions. We have closed our streets in the downtown. We've extended the actual street closure so the restaurants can have dining outside. So please patronize the local businesses. I also want to thank the county for their gifts of vouchers to the community for the people who've been excited to go back out to these restaurants and eat down on Division Street, down at the riverfront. It's a beautiful view, it's a beautiful place, and now that the weather's getting nice, we're anticipating more people will be coming out to eat, so make your way over to the city of Peekskill or in the downtown. We did have some vaccines this year at the Kylie Youth Center. I want to thank the Parks and Recreation staff for organizing that alongside with the county executive and Senator Pete Harcum. But it's very important that if you're aware of anyone who has not been vaccinated that wants to get vaccinated, please contact my office if you have any questions, if you need any assistance, or if you need any direction on helping get these people to locations where they can be vaccinated. Please let us know. For the meantime, me and the city manager are currently Matt Alexander, who's an acting city manager now until Andy gets back. We'll be hosting weekly informative videos. We've been doing it since the pandemic started last year in March. We're a little over a year strong. Every Tuesday morning, now it's going to be Tuesday afternoon, actually beginning this week. Every Tuesday afternoon, if you have YouTube, if you have Facebook, or if you just have the local government channel in the city of Peekskill, me and Matt Alexander are going to be updating the community on all of the actual activities that the city is offering during this time, as well as the current COVID numbers and where we are as a city of Peekskill. And last but not least, just want to say to the city of Peekskill, you have helped make this process successful. The entire city of Peekskill has come together like never before during this process, from the Rotary Club to the Youth Bureau to the local school organizations to the after-school programming organizations to the health center to the city of Peekskill itself to Westcott. And so many of you have helped make this process so much more easy to deal with. We can't say anything about this process has been easy, but we can say that this has definitely brought our city together as a community, as a unified family, almost to say. So I thank the city of Peekskill for your consistency and making sure that we are fully aware of what needs to be done, what can be done. All of those who are active on social media, letting us know what needs to be done, what can be done, and sharing the information from the City of Peekskill website. You are all helping in your own way, and we thank you, and we'll continue to fight this fight. We'll continue to move forward. We will continue to take down COVID until we're successful and we're back to seeing each other, and I can stand next to George Latimer, our county executive, and give him an actual hug without a mask on my face. And the same thing for our deputy county executive, Ken Jenkins, and everybody else that's in elected office doing what they got to do to make sure the cities are successful. So God bless you all. Thank you for allowing the city of Peekskill to be here this evening, this afternoon. We wish you nothing but success. And again, God bless you all from the greatest city on earth, in my opinion, and the greatest county on earth, Westchester County. Andre Rainey, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's Mayor Andre Rainey, City of Peekskill. And while this will be his last year of service as mayor, we're going to invite him back a little later in the year, and we'll talk some more about other initiatives and progress that's being made. I want to make sure we have a couple announcements for your schedule. Beginning this Friday, the County Health Department will be holding a first dose availability at our health clinic at 134 Court Street in White Plains. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. walk-ins will be accepted. This is now the first of our local clinics that we have in Westchester County that will now take you on a first-come, first-served basis. If you are not vaccinated, do come with appropriate information, but you can come between 9 to 1 at our health clinic, and you can be vaccinated. We're going to be administering the Moderna virus vaccination, which is a 2-shot vaccination. So when you get the shot, if it's beginning Friday, whatever day it is, you will then be scheduled to come back in a certain number of weeks, 4 weeks, I believe it is, from Moderna, to get the second shot to complete your vaccination dose. But as with the Yonkers Armory facility, this now will be opened up for walk-ins, and we think that'll help us get to the next level of individuals that we want to take care of. Now, we know that there are some COVID-related impacts that we have in other areas of public policy, and one of that is to deal with what we expect will be a tremendous pressure for foreclosure prevention and for eviction prevention, those who are renters and those who have mortgages on property, homes, or what have you. We know that the loss of employment that occurred throughout the course of this pandemic, much of it happening in the beginning of that pandemic when everything in the society got shut down, people in certain areas of endeavor were let go by their businesses, and there was no place to work to bring in the kind of money necessary to pay rent or to pay mortgage. And then, of course, some industries have been hurt so badly, hotel industry, airline industry, that they haven't fully recovered even at this point. So there is a concern about how many people will lose their home or lose their apartment. And with that thought in mind, New York State has established some activities, and now Westchester County is involved in those activities as well to deal with foreclosure prevention as well as eviction prevention. So I'm going to ask Deputy County Executive Ken Jenkins to brief us on where we are with those policies as relates to Westchester County and the state of New York. Ken?
Thanks, George. It is certainly an exciting program as far as making sure that we are able to deal with foreclosure prevention. So today, we're going to focus just on the foreclosure prevention component. It is a request from the state of New York to get together and speak with the New York State Office of the Attorney General, who's been running a homeowner protection program, HOPP, which funds a statewide homeowner hotline and contracts with 88 nonprofit housing, counseling, and legal services programs to provide direct assistance to homeowners in every county of New York State. Westchester County, being the best county in the state of New York, is no exception to that, and there's a tremendous job being done by the Office of the Attorney General to be able to deal with that. We know at this particular point in time, about 12% of our New York State homeowners are struggling to pay their mortgages, right? 3 times as high as the last time it was checked in 2009. Before COVID, homeowners were typically referred to this particular service in the AG's office through foreclosure filing notices and settlement conferences. This important referral process has been interrupted due to the foreclosure moratorium, and many homeowners are in forbearance agreements with their lenders. These measures are temporary, and we are very concerned about what's to come for our homeowners as far as foreclosure is concerned. Time is of the essence. There was a date of May 1st for the moratorium. It doesn't matter if the date gets extended. The best time to act is right now. So with various state and federally mandated forbearance periods ending, it's critical that you contact and ask for that help now. There's a lot of help that's available, but if you don't ask, you wait till the very last minute, there will be a lot of challenges that happen, and we know there are many people struggling through COVID-19, so we want to make sure to do that. So the COVID-19 Mortgage Wellness Check, act today. You can call the Office of the Attorney General's HOP program. It's of no cost to you. I'm sure that we're putting the numbers up on the screen to make sure that everyone is able to connect and contract with that particular program. It's an 800 number, or 855-HOME-456. But for the regular numbers, it's 1-855-466-3456, or go to homeownerhelpny.org to get connected to a nonprofit in your area. It's critically important that you do that. Don't wait. Get the help that we need today. Be able to take a look at all of the available programs. Thanks so much, George.
Thanks very much, Ken. We're just going to have a couple of announcements, and then we'll take whatever questions that have been accumulated from the press. This Sunday, May 2nd, begins our annual Bicycle Sunday program, which is on the Bronx River Parkway. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, goes to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the Bronx River Parkway will be closed, and its northern terminus will be the Main Street exit in White Plains, and it goes down to the Scarsdale Road exit, which actually is in the city of Yonkers and is most close to downtown Tuckahoe. That is the length of the parkway that will be closed for bicycles to go up and down over that 4-hour period of time. Last year, we opened it up during the heart of the pandemic, and there was some degree of controversy about whether or not this was the wise thing to do. But last year, through the generosity of a number of organizations and individuals, we were able to keep it open, not just for the usual 12-week program, which would be May, June, September, and October, but also during the summertime, July and August months. So we had a record year last year, a banner year for Bicycle Sunday, and we're going to repeat that this year. Part of it is because so many recreations are limited during the COVID period of time, but bicycling is intrinsically a social distanced activity, just as our golf courses are, and we're very excited to give this opportunity for families to go out there, couples, individuals, whatever the context is, that you'll be able to enjoy a bicycle ride on a Sunday afternoon. The program will go on every Sunday, with the exception of those on Memorial Day weekend, Independence Day weekend, or 4th of July weekend, as we like to call it, and Labor Day weekend. But it will go through October. So that's all the other Sundays between now and then, except for the 3 big Sunday weekends of the multiple day weekends that are coming up. This goes along with our prior announced decisions to open up Playland Beach and the Croton Point Park Beach on Memorial Day weekend over that Friday, Saturday, Sunday period of time. And then by June 25th, 26th, that period of time, we'll be opening the beaches to be open most of the week. 5 days a week in most cases, and then also we'll be opening our 4 pools at that time and Playland Amusement Park. So we intend to have as robust a set of activities as we can during the pandemic in our parks. Bicycle Sunday starts this week. Golf courses are already open. All of the walking and hiking trails have stayed open throughout the course of the year. Our 6 nature preserves continue to be open. And then as we get a little bit deeper to Memorial Day weekend, which is not that far away, really, it's about a month away, then we'll open up our beaches to be followed by our pools at the end of June. We will not be opening the Kensico Dam Plaza for the purposes of our cultural festivals. This will be the second straight year that we are going to lose all of those wonderful events. By definition, they are highly populated, lots of people in close quarters, music and dance and food and different things on display, but we're just not able to do that with social distancing prohibitions in place. And there's usually a couple that are held at Ridge Road Park in Hartsdale. Most of the rest are at Kensico Dam Plaza. Unfortunately, this will be the second straight year we will not do that. And we also have no plans to do our fireworks programs for July 3rd at Kensico, July 4th at Playland. We'll determine if by the end of the year, when we get to Labor Day, there might be some possibility of fireworks. We'll see if that happens. But at this stage of the game, we'll assume that it won't because of the intrinsic problems of social distancing. We will be announcing other special events that will go on at Kensico Dam Plaza. We did a couple of very successful drive-in movies there last year, and I suspect we'll have a couple to announce in due time. And of course, we are working on Glen Island Park, which has been open for pedestrian walking, and we'll hope that perhaps we'll be able at some point in time to announce that it'll be open on the beach as well. But that is nothing that we have approval for yet, so stay tuned. We'll give you the announcements as we can, but we're very excited that we're opening up our parks in a way that hopefully people can use. And again, beginning this Sunday, May 2nd, 10 o'clock in the morning, Bicycle Sundays start again on the Bronx River Parkway. Let's go to any questions that we may have. Joe Scamato is with us from our communications department. Joe, identify whatever you have from the press.
We got 2 questions for you. The first is from David Proper from the Journal News. How concerned are you that demand is dropping short of the 70 to 80% threshold needed for herd immunity?
David Proper from the Journal News, low HUD. We're concerned. I don't think there's any question that what we hear from the professionals of the CDC and Dr. Fauci and people of that nature would like to see herd immunity somewhere in the 70%, 80% vaccinated ranges. So here in Westchester County, what we foresee as we approach the 50% mark is I think we foresee a path that gets us to 60%, given the amount of demand that still exists out there. There are still targeted groups that haven't been fully activated, and we think that will yet happen. We're probably going to be in a better position about a month from now as we approach the Memorial Day weekend to really have a hard estimate about how far we think we can get voluntarily, and that will pretty much tell the tale. So I'm going to hold off any undue concerns until we see just how far we can get. But we certainly are planning to have and have started in certain ways to start it already, a public information campaign that will try to target individuals who have not yet taken their vaccine and give them both reasons why and the endorsements of different entities that they're doing this. You've seen already the Radio City Rockettes have done a public service spot with the county. We expect to have some of the sporting teams, Knicks and Rangers, do that as well, to show you that if young athletes can get vaccinated, people of all different ethnic backgrounds can get vaccinated, there really isn't a fear or a reason for you not to be vaccinated. I've been vaccinated. I did not have any particular bad reaction to it, as I've shared with you before. And it really, frankly, isn't that big a deal. But for some people, whatever the hesitancy is, we want to try to address it. So we're concerned, David, but at this point, we're just making plans to try to help a persuasive campaign that would probably kick in earnest in about a month from now as we start to approach the summer season.
Okay. One more question, same topic from David Proper as well. With a noticeable drop in cases and hospitalizations, do you hope those improving numbers can prove to people that the vaccines do work?
Well, we hope that that's the correlation and the connection that people make in their minds. This is at a time where people have talked a lot about the variants, and the variants are to be concerning, that they make the disease more communicable, and we're not 100% sure as to what the level of severity is based on the variants. But even as the variants have been out there, we've seen a drop in cases. Even as you've seen us open up a little bit more of the society in a number of different ways. More people are outside now. The weather's getting better. There is a greater sort of a pandemic fatigue where people are going out more now. They just have to get out of the house. They just have to do some things outdoors. Even with those actions, we're not seeing an increased spread of the disease. So we're encouraged by that, I think. Now, we've been through this once before, where we peaked up high and then we dropped down and then we restarted the engine. The difference is we have the vaccines in place, and if we do reach 50% and 60% of the people, it's now less likely that any further resurgence will trigger certain actions. And we are waiting for medical science to tell us whether or not all of us who've been vaccinated 1 or 2 times will need a booster shot, either later in the year or early next year, just because the antibodies that are built up last for a certain period of time, but they don't last over an unlimited period of time. So there may yet be some additional action that we have to take to make sure we're protected. But I do think the general sense I have is a positive sense. We have gone through a long period of time changing our lifestyle tremendously. Some folks can't accept it. Most of us accept it begrudgingly, and we do what we have to do in order to be safe. And I am certainly, if the maximum vision that I have is a Westchester vision, I'm reasonably confident that Westchester residents have responded well and will continue to respond well to this. If the challenge is nationwide, if the challenge is even statewide, it's a greater challenge because there are parts of the state and parts of the nation that just have a different level of acceptance of the vaccinations. But I think here in Westchester, I'm encouraged by where we are. I think the numbers go down. I think that does prove, as much as you can draw a direct correlation, that the vaccines are working. And I hope that'll be a good sign for the future. Any other questions? All right, no other questions. Again, if anyone from the press has a question, please contact us directly. You can call us at 995-2900. Ask to speak to any of our communication professionals. Lisa Reyes is with us here, as well as Joe Scamato, and Catherine Chaffee, the Director of Communications, is also available, and we'll try to give you information as we can. We will return again on Thursday at 2 o'clock to give an update sort of later in the week and see if the numbers continue to improve. We hope that they will, and we hope that gets us one more day closer to resumption of the society as we once remember it. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Thanks for watching. Be safe, and we'll see you Thursday at 2.